Welcome back to Better Bikes. Well, there it is, as you can see. It's now MOT'd, it's road taxed, we've got insurance on it, it looks beautiful, all nice and shiny. I'm going out for a nice test ride.
Hey up, mate.
What are you doing here?
Well, you said you mentioned my name. I heard you say test ride.
I did, Paul.
Well, that's my middle name, mate.
Is
you
it?
get paid to build the bikes, I get paid to ride them. I think that's a good deal, don't you?
I can't believe. You mean you want to take this out now?
I do want to take it out, but our lovely viewers there want to know all about this, how you've done it, and all the minder that you've had putting it together. It's not been that easy, has it?
It's not been too difficult, but it's not been too easy.
No, right. You tell them all about it. I'll take it for a spin, but before I do that, go and open the gates for us, mate.
I can't believe the keys are there. I can't believe I don't even get to test ride my own bike. Oh my God, what have I done? I've let Paul loose on my bike. I bet we're not going to see him for another couple of hours. Anyway, if you've been watching Better Bikes from the start, you'll know that I bought a crash-damaged Blackbird for 2,350 quid. It looked a mess, didn't it? But never mind, I knew it was going to be right at the end of the day. Also included in the price was a set of front forks, a front wheel, a right-hand footrest hanger and the rear seat panel. I must tell you at this point that I did actually hear the engine start up and have a good listen to it before the film crew arrived. Anyway, the bike was then delivered to my workshop where I stripped off all the broken and damaged parts. Once that had been done, I replaced the front forks, the front wheel and also fitted the footrest hanger. I then drew up a parts list. Once the list was complete, I spent a good few hours ringing round lots of breakers to locate the parts. Now these places are an Aladdin's cave and you'll be amazed at the variety of parts on offer. They've got absolutely everything, not to mention the prices when you compare them to new ones from a main dealer. Eventually, all the parts needed to rebuild the bike were found and collected from various places, but that top fairing, it was a nightmare. Every time a bike's dropped, whether it's on the left or the right, the top fairing always gets damaged. But Julian, good to his word, said that he would try and find me one when he went on one of these parts finding missions to France. And by Jove, the lad did me proud. He came back with a nice mint top fairing. Once the parts were all assembled in my workshop, it was then simply a case of putting the whole thing back together. Nothing too tricky, as long as you're well organised and you've got some decent tools. Nothing special though, just a good selection of sockets, spanners and screwdrivers. The best advice I could possibly give anybody in the workshop is to be methodical, take your time and keep all the nuts, bolts and fasteners in a safe place. Even separate them into different parts of the machine. Have a box for the fairing, have a box for the seat panel, etc, etc. And the most important part is always use the correct tool for the job. He's been out a long time on my bike. I wonder where he is. Hang on a minute, that sounds like my bike. He's here. Where have you been? Look at the state of that. It was lovely and clean when I gave it you. Have you been grass tracking on it?
Bit mucky this time of year, Gaz.
Good God.
I have to say, it's very nice. I'm impressed. You've done a grand job there, mate.
Is it okay for you?
Well, when I think back to what it looked like and what it is now, sat aboard it, you'd never know it was the same machine. Terrific, but you know the important thing?
What's
You've not told anybody yet, and we want to know, these people want to know, what's it all cost you, how much is it worth now, and was it all worth it? So you tell these people all about it, I'll go and put the kettle on.
That's the best thing you've done all day. Look at the state of this bike. You lend it to Paul, he does a test ride, and this is the state it brings it back in. Anyway, enough of that, come up here. Right, this is what we paid for the bike, £2,350. If you go down this line, this is all the second-hand parts here, a total of £590. Add the two together, it stands me at £2,940. Now, if I'd have had to have bought the forks, the wheel and all the other free of charge bits, it would have been another £264, which would have took the total up to about £3,300. But look at the prices here. These are all the new prices from a main dealer, £5,000 plus. You know why they break them now and they just scrap them.
Expensive that, isn't it, if you buy new parts?
It is. Do you want this?
No, I don't want to. I just want to get it out of the way. What I want to know now is, what's it worth this, now? If you wanted to sell this, how much, you know, ballpark figure?
I think it would be somewhere in the region of about 4.25, maybe 4.5.
Right, and you've put it back together. Oh, you've spent a little bit more on it because you put fancy cans and a fancy screen,
Yeah.
but you didn't have to do that.
I didn't have to do that. 600 quid for the cans, obviously £55 for the screen, and some brake levers.
Right, but you didn't have to do that. You could have
I
put
wanted
it,
those.
Yeah, because you're a poser, I know.
I know.
You could have put it back together for less than £3 grand.
Less than £3 grand.
A profit of approaching 1,500 quid.
Yeah.
Not
I
bad,
would,
is it?
I
That?
would say so, yeah.
That could be a good little business venture for somebody, couldn't it? Somebody out there might have some ideas.
Well,
now.
if you fancy doing it, give me a call. You never know.
You'd make a few bob, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
In fact, I want to ask you the big question, $64,000 question. Would you do it again?
Yes, I'd do it again.
I know. I'm really glad you said that because I've been looking at this little supermoto. Just come over here. I've got a nice little project for you lined up.
Dear.
This will keep you busy.
What am I letting myself in for?